Good morning, everyone. It is 10 a.m. We will begin the September 24th, 2025 License and Variance Board meeting. I am Richard Garland, the Community Services Administrator for the city. To my left is Eric Randall, Public Works Director, and to his left is Andrea Worthy, the Economic Development Director. We make up the License and Variance Board that will be hearing your request this morning. With that, we'll move into formal business, which is item A is a variance request V25-086 to increase the maximum impervious surface area from 35% to 37% on land lot 665 at 1807 Teasley Drive. William Blunt is the applicant. Ms. Crow, the background, please.
All right. Good morning. Caitlin Crow, Land Services Development Coordinator for Community Development. So as you just read out, this is V25-086 to increase the maximum impervious surface area from 35% to 37%. So this subject parcel is right over on Teasley Drive on the west side. It is currently occupied by an existing single-family home. Back in March of this year, the applicant did receive approval for a building permit to build an addition on the rear of the home, but the applicant has since come in to further expand that addition, which is causing this variance to increase the impervious surface area. So the applicant will be going over the impervious area by 2%, which is about 175 square feet in this case. The applicant is looking to increase the existing rooms that are proposed in the current building permit and just provide a little bit more flexibility on the plans. To offset this additional increase, the applicant has proposed to install 6 50-gallon flow wells on the property. They'll be just to the north of the new proposed addition. The engineering department has reviewed this plan and is supportive of this request. And community development does feel that this is the minimum variance needed to provide this type of addition on the property. Additionally, the existing home is actually beneath the required 2,000 square feet that's required for R15 homes. With this addition, the home will be over 3,000 square feet, which will bring it into compliance with the R15 minimum house size. So after reviewing the the variance application, staff does support the request and does recommend your approval with the following 3 stipulations. The first, of course, is our standard stipulation. Approval of the requested variance shall be conditioned upon substantial compliance with the site plan and mitigation plan submitted with the variance application. Number 2, a stormwater inspection and maintenance agreement shall be completed and recorded with the Cobb County Superior Court prior to issuance of the building permit. And number 3, a stormwater as-built certification statement shall be submitted to community development for approval prior to issuance of the certificate of completion. I also do have Clara Hodges here from the engineering department if you have any questions specifically about the stormwater mitigation plan. And other than that, I can answer any questions.
Any questions from Ms. Crow?
All right, thank you.
Ms. Hodge, you want to step to the microphone, please? Quickly want to get you on record verifying that you've reviewed the plan and think that this is adequate.
Yes, correct. Clara Hodges with the engineering department. I have reviewed and let them know that they are treating slightly over what would be required based on the impervious surface that they are over. They are aware of that and said that that's what they would like to do.
Thank you very much. Any questions for Ms. Hodges? Thank you, ma'am. Blunt, are you in the room? Yes, sir. Step to the microphone, please, sir. State your name and a name for the record.
William Blunt.
Thank you very much, sir. You've heard the background that Ms. Crow's provided. Is there anything you'd like to add to that background?
No, not today. I just thank everyone for hearing us, and we look forward to moving forward with our plans.
Heard the 3 stipulations that she proposed, and you agree to adhere to those, understand those, and agree to adhere to those?
Yes, I have, and yes, I do.
Good. Any questions for Mr. Blunt? Thank you, sir. You may be seated.
Thanks.
This is a public hearing. If there's anyone present who'd like to speak for or against this variance request, you may do so at this time. Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion.
I motion to approve V25-086, a variance request to increase the maximum impervious surface area from 35% to 37% in land lot 665 at 1807 Teasley Drive. William Blunt, the applicant.
We have a motion that's been properly seconded. Please vote. And that motion passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is variance request V25-087. Reduce the street side setback from 23.3 feet to 12.4 feet on land lot 455 at 3731 Wisteria Lane. Jeremiah Keith is the applicant. Ms. Crowe, the background on this request, please.
All right, thank you. Again, Caitlin Crowe, Community Development. So, as you just read out again, we have V25-087 to reduce the street side setback from 23.3 feet to 12.4 feet. This parcel is a corner lot located right there at the intersection of Wisteria Lane and Brentwood Drive. So the existing home is a single-family home that's roughly 1,100 square feet currently. The applicant has proposed to extend the home in the rear in line with the existing home along Wisteria Lane. Once completed, this home will be roughly 1,800 square feet, which will bring it closer in line with the R15 minimum house size of 2,000 square feet, as was mentioned with the previous variance. The existing house is an existing home that has been there since at least 1956, which is prior to our current adoption of the zoning ordinance of 1974. The street side setback is currently existing non-conforming, which means it's already closer to Wisteria Lane than is what currently allowed by the zoning variance. Thus, because they are extending it in line with the current home, the street side setback variance is not a hardship that's self-created. Due to the existing footprint of the home, staff believe this is the most logical area to put any type of addition on the property. Thus, after reviewing the variance application, staff is supportive of the request and recommends your approval with just a standard stipulation. Approval of the requested variance shall be conditioned upon substantial compliance with the site plan and elevations submitted with the variance application. And with that, I can answer any questions.
Any questions from Ms. Crowe? Ma'am?
Quick one.
Yes, of course.
Proposed increase in square footage doesn't meet that remains non-conforming, or does this require another variance?
No, correct. Because they're not increasing a non-conforming, they're actually bringing it closer into compliance. No additional variance is needed for that.
Thanks for the clarification.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Keith? You would state your name for the record when you get to the microphone, please, sir.
Yes, my name is Jeremiah Keith.
Jeremiah, good to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you as well.
You've heard the background that Ms. Crowe has provided. Is there anything that you'd like to add to that?
No, that's currently where we are.
She stated that there's one stipulation on this request. Do you understand that stipulation and agree to adhere to it?
Yes, I do.
Any questions for Mr. Keith? Thank you. This is a public hearing. If there's anyone here who'd like to speak for or against this variance request, please do so at this time. Seeing none, we will entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve variance request V25-087 to reduce the street side setback from 23.3 feet to 12.4 feet. Lot 455 at 3731 Wisteria.
Second.
We have a motion that's been properly seconded. Please vote. That motion passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is variance request V25-088, and this is paired with a variance request V25-089. We'll hear both of them together from Ms. Crowe, but we will vote on them individually. V25-088 is to reduce the street side setback from 26.7 feet to 20.1 feet on land lot 265 at 280 Concord Road. Harold Singer is the applicant. Ms. Crowe?
All right. Thank you. So again, Caitlin Crowe, Community Development. So the next two variances are going to be for the same property. So I will go ahead and read them together just to keep it a little bit more concise, and you'll vote on them individually. So that first variance that you just read was V25-088 to reduce the street side setback from 26.7 feet to 20.1 feet. And then the second variance we'll hear today is V25-089 to increase the accessory structure size from 25% to 48.2% of the primary dwelling. So this subject parcel, again, is a corner lot located at the intersection of Concord Road and Highview Drive. The applicant is proposing to renovate the existing single-family home by extending one portion of the home closest to Highview Drive to create a closet addition on that side. That side is currently non-conforming into the street side setback, just like the previous variance. And the house was actually built back in 1900, and we can confirm from aerials from 1952 that that section that's currently non-conforming into that street side setback has existed since that time. So since they are going to be extending that in line with the existing home, the hardship is not self-created. Additionally, the applicant is also proposing to increase the size of the existing detached garage. They will be pulling that garage forward to allow for more vehicles to be parked there. They do have a vehicle collection that they'd like to store in a covered area. From the public roadways, since there's a road, a fence plus some foliage, you can't see the garage, so there would be no impediment to the public right-of-way or any neighboring properties. Due to the existing footprint of both the existing garage and the home, the most logical areas to place these additions are in front of the garage or on the side of the home as shown on their site plan. So after a review of the variance application, staff is supportive of both requests and does recommend your approval with just the following standard stipulation. Approval of the requested variance shall be conditioned upon substantial compliance with the site plan and elevations submitted with the variance application. And I can answer any questions about either variance. All right, thank you.
Mr. Singer? State your name for the record, please, sir.
Good morning, Harold Singer.
Welcome. You've heard the background that Ms. Crow has provided. Is there anything that you'd like to add to that?
No, sir, and thank you. Very thorough job. I appreciate that.
One stipulation that she mentioned, you understand that stipulation and agree to adhere to that stipulation?
Yes, sir.
Are there any questions for Mr. Singer?
What kind of vehicles?
The homeowners here?
And my wife's vehicle. She has a pink Lamborghini, pink Porsche, and a pink 1977 Westline.
Garage is good.
Happy wife, happy life.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you, sir. This is a public hearing. If there's anyone here who'd like to speak for or against this variance request, please do so at this time by stepping to the microphone. Would sir state your name and address for the record?
Charles Tucker, 357 Lyndhurst Road, Southeast.
Okay, you'll have 3 minutes, sir.
Woods. Yeah. My only concern is that they have had at this property a party or some kind of major event where you had a lot of people lining up for parking alongside Highview, and it made it very, very impassable, without danger from Concord Road, which is very busy at that point. It's got a speed. I can't remember the name of the terminology. But the other thing is there was an attempt a couple of years ago, I think, to build a fence very near to the street line. And if this is going to allow something like that, that would deteriorate the visibility of people coming out because it is a very busy road. I would be concerned for a safety reason. That's all I had to say.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who'd like to speak for or against this request? Here.
The party he was talking about is my wedding.
You're going to speak, sir. If you would, please step to the microphone so that we can get it for the record. State your name.
Nigel Ingleton. It's my house. The party he's talking about was my wedding, and I spoke to building control to ask if I needed a variance or a permit to party, and they said no. The police came at 9 o'clock, somebody called. They came at 11 o'clock, and then they came at 12 o'clock, because 12 o'clock was when we had to end. I had all my family in from England. We had a great time. We didn't cause any problems for anybody. There was just one person that complained, and I guess we know who that is.
Thank you, sir. Any other comments? Motion.
I make a motion to approve variance request V25-088 to reduce the street side setback from 26.7 feet to 20.1 feet in land lot 5 at 280 Concord Road.
We have a motion that's been properly seconded. Please vote. That motion passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is variance request V25-089, increase the accessory structure size from 25% to 48.2% of the primary dwelling. You guys might want to hang around for the second variance. Variance request V25-089, increase the accessory structure size from 25% to 48.2% of the primary dwelling on land lot 265 at 280 Concord Road. Harold Singer is the applicant. Ms. Crow, is there any background that you would like to add to what you've already provided?
Nothing further.
Any questions of Ms. Crow related to this request? Mr. Singer, if I could have you step back to the microphone, please, sir. The one stipulation that applied to 088 also applies to 089. You understand that and are willing to adhere to it?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions of Mr. Singer? No. Sir? This is a public hearing. If there's anyone here who'd like to speak for or against this variance request, please do so at this time. Hearing none, we will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve variance request V25-089 to increase the accessory structure size from 25% to 48.2% of the primary dwelling in land lot 265 at 280 Concord Road.
A second.
We have a motion that's been properly seconded. Please vote. Next item on the agenda is variance request V25-090, reduce the northern side setback from 12 feet to 8 feet on land lot 556 at 3357 Pretty Branch Drive. Nick Vinson is the applicant. This is also one where we will have two requests. Ms. Crow will cover both of them. We'll vote on them individually.
Yes, thank you. Caitlin Crow, Community Development. So the first variance that you read was V25-090 to reduce the northern side setback from 12 feet to 8 feet. And the second variance you had mentioned that we'd cover is V25-091 to reduce the driveway setback from 5 feet to 2 feet. So this setback parcel is about a half-acre lot over there on Pretty Branch Drive in the Forest Hills subdivision. The applicant is proposing to fully demolish the existing single-family home that exists today and would like to rebuild a new single-family home in roughly the same location as what was previously there, just to reduce the land disturbance on the property. So once completed, the new home will have 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms on the lower floor, and there will be a small section, kind of a 1.5 story house. The second floor will have a home theater on that second floor. So the home will be accessed off of Pretty Branch Drive in the same curb cut that exists today. However, the driveway will be moved closer to the side of the property to make room for a side entry garage that is proposed as part of the new home. The existing home, prior to it being demolished, is from 1955, which is prior to our current zoning ordinance of 1974. The existing home actually encroaches into the side setback further than what the applicant is proposing. So they are trying to achieve the minimum variance needed by moving the foundation of the home to accommodate an 8-foot setback from the required 12-foot. Because they are actually improving the condition of the home that exists today and also making it where they don't have to be fire retardant on that side, the hardship is not self-created. So again, to make room for this new side entry garage that's being proposed, they are having to bring the driveway within that 5-foot driveway setback to allow for the turning radius into the side entry home. Because they are using the existing curb cut and trying to keep it a rather more minimal driveway as possible long, we do feel that this is the minimum variance needed to allow for any side entry garage. Additionally, similar variances have actually been approved in the immediate area over on 3405 Pre-Branch Drive in 2023, and then this past year at 3342 Pre-Branch and 1463 Collier Drive. So there's a precedence for these types of variances in the immediate neighborhood. So after reviewing the variance application, staff is supportive of both variance requests and does recommend your approval with the following 2 conditions. The first, of course, is our standard condition. Approval of the requested variances shall be conditioned upon substantial compliance with the site plan and elevations submitted with the variance application. And number 2, any damaged or broken curb caused during construction shall be replaced prior to issuance of the certificate of occupancy. And with that, I can answer any questions about either variance.
Bro?
I do have one question. On that northern side setback that's existing,
Yes.
where are they in that side setback?
I believe, so they were at 4 feet.
Okay,
3 feet, 6 inches. Thank you, Nick.
thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Any
right,
other
thank you.
questions? Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Vinson? Would state your name for the record, please, sir.
Good morning, Nick Vinson.
Very much for being
Yeah.
here.
Thank you for having me.
Heard the background that Ms. Crowe provided. Is there anything you'd like to add to that?
She crushed it, so no,
Mentioned,
there's nothing else.
yeah, 2 stipulations that she mentioned. You understand those stipulations and agree to adhere to them?
Yes, sir.
Any questions from Mr. Vinson? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Hang around because there are 2.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a public hearing. If there's anyone here who'd like to speak for or against this variance request, please do so at this time. Hearing none, we will entertain a motion.
I motion to approve V 25-090, a variance request to reduce the northern side setback from 12 feet to 8 feet in land lot 556 at 3357 Pretty Branch Drive. Nick Vinson, the applicant.
I second the motion.
We have a motion that's been properly seconded. Please vote. Passed unanimously. Next item on the agenda is variance request V 25-091, reduce the driveway setback from 5 feet to 2 feet on land lot 556 at 3357 Pretty Branch Drive. Nick Vinson is the applicant. Ms. Crowe, is there any additional background that we need to hear on this request?
Not at this time.
Are there any questions from Ms. Crowe in relation to this request? Mr. Vinson, is there anything you'd like to add to this? Yes, sir, please.
Nick Vinson, nothing else I'd like to add.
Okay. The 2 stipulations that were mentioned earlier also apply to this request. You understand that and agree to adhere to them?
Yes, sir.
Very much.
You got
Any
it.
questions from Mr. Vinson? This is a public hearing. If there's anyone here who'd like to speak for or against this variance request, may do so at this time by stepping to the microphone. Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion.
I motion to approve V 25-091, a variance request to reduce the driveway setback from 5 feet to 2 feet in land lot 556 at 3357 Pretty Branch Drive.
I second the motion.
We have a motion that's been properly seconded. Please vote. That motion passes unanimously. The next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes from September 10th, 2025, License and Variance Board meeting minutes. May I entertain a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve the minutes from September 10th, 2025, License and Variance Board meeting.
A second.
Have a motion that's been properly seconded. Please vote. Is there any other business? That passes unanimously. Is there any other business to come before the board this morning? Hearing none, we'll move to adjourn.